Last week, I started presenting one of the books that helps people be successful. And this book is called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. So last week, I talked about how you can be impeccable with your word. And if you haven't seen it yet, please find it above or in the description below. This week, we move on with the second agreement. And that is, stay tuned. Hello, I'm Roswitha from roswithaherman.com, and each week I help women just like you be successful in every area of their lives and be the most successful person in the room. The second agreement presented in this book is called Don't Take Anything Personally. And I mentioned that this was my favorite one, and the reason for that is that I struggled with this topic my whole life. I used to take everything personally, and that only brought me a lot of suffering, and I've always felt like I'm on my own, lonely, and that everybody will eventually disappoint me or betray me. This agreement is harder to keep, especially for those with a lower self-esteem. Why? Because they're walking around with a lot of emotional wounds, and it's almost impossible not to get hurt. You might say, what you're saying, it's hurting me. But the truth is, what I'm saying is not hurting you. My words are simply touching the wounds you already have. So actually, you are hurting yourself by not healing those wounds. Another reason why people take things so personally, because they believe what they hear. So there's a part of our unconscious mind that has certain beliefs. So when somebody says something and we get mad, is because a part of us actually agrees with that statement. A part of us actually is afraid that statement is now true because you kind of knew it on an unconscious level, but when somebody pointed out to you, it kind of became a reality. And you don't want that because you cannot accept that that thing might be true. Another side of this behavior is the constant need to be right. And I'm working on this constantly. I can make something so big out of something so little because of my need to be constantly right. So why do you think we need to be constantly right? Because we all have a wound attached to being wrong. So every time we might be wrong, that wound is hurting. That wound becomes clear to us and we don't want to suffer. So we will do whatever it takes not to suffer, and that will be hanging on to the I am right thing. But what we all really need is to find the source of the wound, is to accept that we do have emotional wounds, and then is to forgive those that taught us how to create these wounds, those that inflicted these wounds, and then move on. So there's 3 things you can do to stop taking things so personally. First thing, write this mantra somewhere you can see it constantly. Don't take anything personally. So put it on your desktop, put it on your phone, put it on your fridge. So every time then remind yourself, don't take anything personally because I'm only gonna hurt myself. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you can do, you are never responsible for other people's actions. You're only responsible for your own actions. So when you really understand this, then nothing anybody will say or do will be able to hurt you, because what they do, what they say, tells something about themselves and not about yourself. So walking around and hearing other people's behaviors and thoughts and patterns has nothing to do with you. And the third thing, start healing your wounds. Go talk to a therapist, go talk to a coach. I do this with all my clients. We need to discover and accept that we have those wounds. That's the first thing to change, the first step to change, and then work on healing them and work on getting ourselves stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I want let you with a quote from this book. So here it goes. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open and no one can hurt you. You can say, I love you, without fear of being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes or you can say no, whatever you choose, without guilt or self-judgment. You can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in your state of bliss and hell will not affect you at all. Did you like this video? Then please subscribe to my channel and also give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to share it with at least one person. Don't take anything personally. And let me know in a comment below which of these 3 tips will you incorporate in your life. Also, next week we're gonna be talking about the 3rd agreement. Are you excited? Because I know I am. See you next week. Bye.